Hey guys, Lynn Marie here, your quitting evangelist. I want to make sure I've turned the camera around this time because whenever I have it forward facing, it focuses in and out very sporadically and erratically. So let me just see. Let's pretend my head is right here. Let me make sure I'm actually in the screen. Yay! Okay. Hope you all are having equally as amusing a week. Okay. This week's quit of the week is quit low yield activities. I'm going to give a little example of what I mean, and I think a lot of you will probably resonate with this. I am part of a lot of things that are outside of even just my own regular quitting little thing that I have here, my mini quitting empire. I'm an ambassador for Wellness Force Radio, which you should all check out because it is amazing, and a number of other projects, some of which are very exciting, and I'll tell you soon. Or maybe you can go to Quitopia and you'll find out sooner. Plug. Anyway. One of those that I've been involved in was this blog kind of setup where a different author wrote something once a month so that this blog would put something out every 30 days, but it was trying to get people to write more. And they were looking for people to fill up, they needed 30 people. And so a friend of mine came to me and said, hey, would you be interested in this? And I thought, well, I already have blog posts. I make lots of them. And wouldn't really take any extra writing, and if they need it, and maybe it'd be a little bit of exposure. I really had not done the thorough research to see how many people are reading this blog. I said, okay, I'll do it. Because I thought this is going to take very little of my time. Now, I want you to stop and right now start realizing that we're going to talk about something that takes very little of your time, but just because it takes very little of your time does not mean it takes very little of your mental energy. Okay? So never think I shouldn't quit that thing because it's only 5 minutes of my time per week. No. You can quit things that are 1 minute a week if that 1 minute will suddenly be more joy-filled if you don't have to worry about it. So in this situation, I was happily giving over my blog posts, but it still took some thought. And then at some point in time, they put a chain message together of all the 30 authors. And then, you know what a Facebook message chain is like with 30 people in it? Then it's going off every 30 seconds. And I'm like, okay, I definitely didn't sign up for any chain email things, chain messages. And then there were new regulations. Okay, your blog post has to be more about this or that. And I was like, okay, I also didn't sign up for that. I literally thought if I can just take a blog post once a month and help somebody out, I'll do this. And I still at that point didn't yet quit. But then I realized that these blog posts, one time it was posted at midnight on a Friday. And I thought, okay, the reasons that I was doing this was to help people out and not people that I knew well. It was essentially a friend of a friend. And I thought there would be a little bit of exposure. If I can get a few more people to my website, great. But if it's going to be posted at midnight on a Friday, that is not when people are checking out a website. And I had this feeling inside. I was frustrated and I wanted to say to the person, you should put these blog posts at times that are more beneficial or else I'm just wasting my time. And then I stopped and I realized I'm already wasting my time because I've now spent more time thinking about it. I've put more negative feelings into it. And I'm like, this is just not for me. It's, I was doing it kind of to help somebody else out. I'm sure they can find somebody else who's more excited to do it probably. And just the mental space that freed up to not have to remember to send a thing in once a month and to not care when it was posted and not have to get multiple, message reminders when other people were telling, when there was group chat. There were just a lot of little things. It took up very little time individually, but altogether it was just another thing on my already kind of astronomically long to-do list. And I don't have a family. I bet lots of you watching out there are your to-do list is astronomically long. You have 0 kids, no pets, no plants to water. I mean, absolutely nothing requires me to stay alive. So you are absolutely right. Your to-do lists are 3,000 times longer than mine, I'm sure. So think about that one little thing you've promised. Maybe it is, okay, I promised I would bring the muffins once a week to PTA. I'm making up stories. I have no kids. I don't know how muffins and PTAs work. But okay, I promised I would bring the tea to book club. Or I'm just giving really 1950s examples of things. What do people do today? I said I would pick you up for yoga once a week, or whatever the little thing might be that you agreed to that you didn't necessarily agree to with your whole heart. Again, like I said, for example, I was doing it to help out somebody else. I thought there might be a small amount of people driven to my website, but again, I didn't check that out to realize probably nobody, or definitely not enough to make the cost worth it of the kind of like time that I was spending on it. So think into your life, like what are the low yield activities? And again, this doesn't have to be like low yield, but extreme time expenditure. Just think about your to-do list. Like if it is, okay, keep both kids alive, keep spouse, in a good relationship, go to my 40-hour week job, then exercise and also get good sleep so that, I can keep going the next day and take my supplements and all these things that are probably on your to-do list. Do you need any more? Right? Like put things on your to-do list because they are going to be high yield for you in your joy level or maybe in your business and low stress, right? Don't put anything on your to-do list. Quit the things on your to-do list that are low yield and don't bring you any joy. Because I'm telling you, every little quit you make opens up a little bit more mental space, right? One less thing you have to do on this to-do list. I'm telling you, just pluck those off one by one and you're down to just the things that bring you joy. I mean, granted, obviously there are things that you have to do on the to-do list that are not all going to bring you joy, like take out the trash, but it is going to bring you joy to not live in a heap of trash, right? But that's a thing you have to do, right? We cannot take that unless you want to hire somebody to come take your trash out. Again, I have somebody who makes all my meals. Thank you, Federico. So you can hire people to do things if you really, really dislike them. If you really hate driving, Uber. But go through and think about what little things are just small annoyances that aren't really high yield that maybe you could quit to free up a little more extra mental space. That's all I've got for this week. I hope you take a listen to the episode of Quit Happens that I just put out on Tuesday. It is very special. It is with Steph Sifandos. Everybody who has listened to it so far has been like, whoa. He is a relationship, I don't want to call him a guru, maybe he doesn't want to be a guru. He's a transformational relational alchemist. I think that's what it is. But regardless, he's a genius at the stuff he says about selflessness. Check the post. It's going to tell you better. Anyway, please check out that episode. I think you will really enjoy it. And until next time, my friends, happy quitting.